Welcome to the Golf Locker Room. Welcome to the Golf Locker Room. What up, Miss Clark's Golf Life?
What's up, Golf fam? How y'all doing?
We doing pretty good. We doing pretty good. Everything is good. Big Siff, what's cracking?
What's poppin', man? Just chilling, bro. Long last week, bro. Last week.
It was looking good. To tell us a little bit about it, let's dive right in.
Yeah, man. Had a great time in Dublin, Ohio, man. Ventured out and saw Akron, Canton, Columbus. Nice. And it was all for a good cause, man. Got a chance to meet a lot of brothers and sisters around the country. But more importantly, we were there to celebrate the legacy of Dr. Charlie Sifford. I thought Jack did a hell of a job honoring him at the memorial, and it was a big deal. But, the one thing that was huge, I mean, really huge, beyond our expectations, was a $30,000 that was raised for Wilberforce's golf program.
Crazy. Let's get that up. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's going to help.
And the wild part about it, man, I think we had actually raised like $7,000, and then you had the memorial who matched it. And so the wild part was Workday, they caught wind of it and said, you know what, we're going to match that. And so
let's first of all, because they don't have to do that, man. This is Wilberforce. This is Wilberforce. What is it? A D3, D2?
Right, D3.
We had the D3. We had them on the show. They're just starting their program. That 30 is going to probably do more for them than 100 for somebody like Oklahoma or Texas. You know what I'm saying? Because they're just starting their program, man. How dope is that, man?
Well, the thing is, I mean, it's a huge shot for the program, and so what it allows them to do is it allows them to get some equipment. It allows them to throw a couple coins at each individual, and as it relates to scholarship. I spoke with the coach. Their grade point average is like 3.89. And so it's an amazing story. And on top of that, the director for the memorial, he's given us an open invitation. He said, so if you guys want to do it again next year, we'll do it again. And so that in itself, man, I thought that was kicking in the door.
I think you should just make that like what you do, because it's always going to be a great draw. Right. They're going to always respect Jack Nicklaus and come to his tournament, just like they do the Honor Palmer events. And that is a good door that's open. And I thought that was phenomenal. I thought the money raise was phenomenal. I thought it looked good. I even seen a picture of you on the Dublin Country Club looking fantastic. That course looked good. And I think hopefully they'll make another pilgrimage to Clearview. So when I come, hopefully next year, I can get that Clearview and go.
Well, Clearview, man, it was it was like 2 hours away. It was in Canton, almost in Cleveland. But the thing was, man, to be on hollow ground.
That is the key. Let's do that.
And when Renee Powell, she's told the story about how the course was erected. Her dad went out there and we're not talking about tractors and all that kind of stuff. He hand fertilized the golf course. And so she sits on a real big parcel of land. And so if I'm looking at connecting the dots, if the dots are connected, man, that could be a historical landmark beyond our imagination, man. I mean, she's building a $1.2 million facility. You know, hopefully that she gets that off the ground. But it gave me chills just to be there.
Come on, let's get that up again. And you know, as far as our golf history, they have golf history and we take part in their golf history as far as America as a whole. A lot of it we were always, you know, excluded a lot. As for why we had the reason why we have the event now. So yeah, we got to make that hollow ground for everyone and our kids and our kids and all that. And I just think it's beautiful. Is that a 9-hole or 18?
No, it's 18, man. And the wild part about it, and the wild part about it, man, you would think, and this is my stupidity. I'm thinking I didn't know what to expect, so I'm thinking, you know, 18 hole, but you know, kind of small,
like executive, like a 62 par, 64 par executive course.
When I say she has the land, and when I say I mean it's ridiculous, man. So if it and she's meeting with some key stakeholders, and if she can pull it off, it will be a place that anytime someone comes to the memorial, they got to make a pilgrimage to the Checker Golf Course.
I love that the Black Golf Alliance even started that, because I think that's huge. And when we all heard they put that together, like I said, it just hit me. I was like, they don't know how big it's going to be in years, but I just had a gut feeling that this is something special that they've put together. It's a lot of stuff and a lot of talk that people do, but it's something special that they put together.
It was huge. And I talked to Al Quarles the other night, and I said, man, you guys have set a precedent. I said, so the director, you know, it was an open invitation to come every year. I said, even if, because I know the Alliance will be putting on tournaments in other cities. I said, but you have to send a representative there each year. So that you know, that thing will continue to rock and roll.
Absolutely.
History and it's a good look to go there. I'll say that. Okay, on to the LIV Tour, man. Some big players.
Bro.
That's a lot of money. Yeah, I'm gonna win because I've had to listen all day to it, and we're gonna be brief. So me personally, I'm gonna break it down into 3 entities: PGA, the golf media, and the LIV Tour itself. I'm gonna start with the PGA.
Okay.
I don't really have any disparaging things to say about the PGA Tour as a whole. I'm not going to get into how they're working with the players. I'm not a player. I'm not a professional. I'm not a player. How they handle their business is how they handle their business. And they've made millionaires out of a lot. You know what I'm saying? So, I do think they are the tour. They run golf as far as a professional. They are the big stick. So I would just say, in my opinion, people with a big stick should walk softly. Walk softly, carry a big stick. Trust me, everything professionally golf is going to come back to you. You've run a great tour. There's no competition but the tour. Players from Europe, all over the world, leave their countries to come play the PGA Tour because it's the best product out there. That's just my opinion. It's the best product out there. I will say, if you have an entity, this is just my opinion, that is going to infuse the sport you run, because you run golf, make no mistake about it. They run golf. So if you have an entity that's going to infuse $3 billion into a sport you run, never let a tragedy go to waste.
No doubt.
Never let a tragedy go to waste. Find a way. Find a way. Real quick, Sif, what you got to say about the PGA Tour as a whole? That's the first
entity. I think the PGA missed this one, man. Like you said, they're the ones who carry the biggest hammer, and they could have easily married this thing along with the LIV Tour. But you never put a gun to a person's head and tell them to make a decision.
Tell them what they can't do. Yeah.
Never. Not a grown man or a grown woman. Never.
When you bag a guy in a corner and he makes the decision opposite of what you want, now you trying to find a way to save face. And so now, you know, Saudi, man, they print money. So they can print money and you know, run you out of town. They're not gonna run the PGA out of town, but they'll print so much money to get a lot of people to defect over to their tournament. And now what do you have? I just saw where DeChambeau and Reed. So I mean,
DeChambeau, Reed, Fowler's around the corner. Know that Fowler's around the corner.
He should be, man. I'll finish with this. If I'm on the PGA Tour and I'm not in the top 5, I'm gone. I mean, that's life-changing money. And like Dustin Johnson said, I got to do this for my family. This is the best interest of my family. And he's absolutely right. So the PGA should have found a way to marry with what was going on, and they don't lose credibility. But now when you start when you forcing people and tell them that they can't, and money is involved, shit. And do you think they're not going to accept those guys if they wanted to come back? Come on.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. I think all right. They're at war right now to protect their enterprise. So I don't disparage them for any tactics they use. Just do smart tactics because you are golf. The PGA Tour is the professional golf, period. You don't have to prove it. You don't have to quantify it with stuff that you do. If you're a golf fan, you know the charity work, you know the way players make money. But I think you got a little bit over your skis and overplayed your hand, but it's not too late. It's not too late. You started off overplaying your hand. You're the big stick. Walk softly, kick back. You have longevity. The PGA Tour is not going anywhere. It's a good product. It's not going anywhere. Entity number 2, the media. What I hate and despise is state-run media. I don't want to turn on the Golf Channel, which I watch religiously every day as a real and credible news source for all things golf, and get hit with hypocrisy.
Right.
The arguments are, it's only been a few people on there that's had an even keel on both sides of the coin.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
The PGA Tour's legitimacy, what they've done for charity, how they've taken care of the players, what kind of product they put on, it's not in question. You can mention it a little bit, but for a fan, we know it's not in question. It's a great run a product, right? You don't have to infuse politics and mansplaining moral high ground, which pissed me off today. I don't want to hear, well, it's just where the money's coming. I know there's human rights abuse. Look, we got a war going on right here. The Supreme Court right now is trying to take a woman's right to choose away and take away her privacy. I haven't heard a peep from no man on the Golf Channel. I don't think they should get even into that. But when you bring in moral high ground and I don't like this, look, I live in Cali. We are a huge aerospace and defense state, right? We sell Saudi. First of all, Biden's on his way to Saudi Arabia in 2 weeks to cut deals. Trump was over there 3 years ago rubbing some crazy black globe. I don't know what the hell that was about, but he was over there rubbing a globe. We sell them billions and billions of dollars in fighter jets.
Right.
We buy billions and billions of dollars back in oil. We have CIA stuff. We share intelligence with them. Should I go to the aerospace industry about 40 miles from my house and be like, man, I can't support y'all, man. Them fighter jets that you made is over there killing 20,000 people in Yemen. I just don't like where the money's coming from. And then we're going to turn that around and tell a 50-year-old man he can't play golf for a few dollars. Get the F out of here. I don't like hypocrisy.
Yeah,
and I don't like state-run media.
Yeah.
And you got to be fair. You can have your opinion, but you got to be fair. What say you guys?
I'm a Noam Chomsky guy. Noam Chomsky, man, is a guy who's well-read in linguistics and propaganda. And so the thing is, man, what they do is they try to make their interest our interest by using words like patriotism. You're unpatriotic. You know, we're talking about a damn game. And so here's a wild part. You know, when Dustin left, you know, it was a little rumbling here. But imagine this. If Harold Varner were the first person to defend,
they would have eviscerated him.
Unpatriotic. He's not.
They would have eviscerated. It would have been. They would have eviscerated him. They would have eviscerated Cam Champ. They would have eviscerated them and be like, "See, we can't let them darkies in. They not really for." They would have eviscerated. I'll just keep it 100. But all of a sudden, when DJ and a few Europeans went over there, you see McIlroy's attitude completely change from going hard at the Genesis Open to, well, I can't really. Some of them are my friends, and so I don't like the hypocrisy. Media, let's do better. On to the LIV Tour, the third entity. Me, I don't mind competition. I don't mind different formats. I don't mind making the game more global. In the end, it's going to put money in everybody's pocket. I don't know if they tried to go to the PGA and cut a deal first, and they was like, hell no, I don't know. So they was like, fine, you tell me no. Like we had a discussion. If you on my corner and you don't come to me and it's my corner, then we go into war. But if you come to me to give me respect that this is my corner, but I deserve a little piece too, and you say hell no, then I can go to war. So I don't know the ins and outs of that. You know, anything that puts that kind of money into golf and it's not a clown show is going to be good for the game, in my opinion, humble opinion.
Deregulation has always been a great thing, man. And you know, the far right, they always talk about deregulating everything because they believe
it's there when it fits their agenda.
You know, they always talk about, you know, private sector. So this is no different, man. It's just that it's in this game of golf. And now all of a sudden you got people up in arms because they don't want this thing to be deregulated. Think about it. You getting a $125 million, and then you paying for what, $10 million purses with no cut?
No cut, man. That's middle age
Now,
retirement.
did I hear they're going to do a shotgun over there with it? Did I hear that correct? That they're going to have a shotgun format?
It's shotgun.
I'm all for that too.
Yeah, everyone's going out at the same time. They have teams. I looked at the team names. They're a little lame and corny, but so be it. It's their first year. You know, it's only 54 holes, so I get that you shouldn't get world ranking points for 54 holes. I get that. I don't like them saying it's just for the money. I think it's bigger than the money. I get to do less for more money. It's not just the amount of money. I'm playing 8, 9 freaking events, you know, and I'm getting triple the money with no stress and no pressure. I mean, how can I not? It's got to be a way to marry everything now.
I agree.
You may not be able to play all 8 or 10 live events, but you got to let some people go out there and make some real money if you're not going to give it to them. And guess what? They're paying their caddies expenses, room, board, fees, and 6 to 8% of whatever they're footing the bill. The tour is footing the bill, which is pretty dope. Which what the PGA couldn't do because it's like 150 people. You just can't do that on that scale. But for 48 players, 100 players, you probably could do that. And with those marks, so you know, like I said before, the ABA brought in the 3-point for basketball. The AFL brought in the Super Bowl. And the LIV Tour will bring in something. You know, you never can tell how.
But you know, the thing is, I hear people say, man, you know, they already got X amount of dollars and they're making this. Elon Musk could use another $200 billion. Ask him.
Just ask him. Just ask him.
He could use another $200 billion.
Yeah,
Come
just
on,
ask.
man.
I mean, and the propaganda that professional people don't do stuff for money is crazy. If you're a professional, you must be compensated for your professionalism and what you do. McElroy, which I like McElroy, but he's a walking hypocrite. He gets on there today talking about things I did for money, just never turned out right. Really? Because you could live in Ireland. You don't have to live in Miami. That's the country who raised you and got your talents together. You could play on the European tour. Why play on the PGA tour? Why? Because the purses are bigger. Because it's money. Why live in Miami? Well, it's tax free, state tax. So we do a lot of things for finances, and so just please, I want to like all the players. Don't just stay away from the hypocrisy. Just be like, hey, I choose not to do it. My position in the PGA is nice. I'm making money. I can make, but somebody that's number 43, can they get like 20 million? Because the PGA Tour is not going to provide them 20 million. I don't even care. I'm not saying that they deserve 20 million for the PGA Tour, but it's an entity it's an entity that's willing to give them 20 million for they're still professionals. They are work for hire. So, like I said, I don't really have any bad things to say about the PGA Tour. I think just be quiet. You are the league. You are the tour. Golf is in your court, and it's going to work out for you. Last parting words where we bring on our lovely, lovely guest.
All right. So I did want to, before we brought the ladies in, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but you're frozen. But I hear you.
I'm not frozen. So just keep it moving. Yeah. So anyways, I went and played in an event. Manny, it's not frozen on my end.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Okay. So we had the iGolf for Vets. They had an inaugural event. And so what was awesome about it and what I loved about it and why I want to shout it out was because their mission is to provide veterans and their families with a platform to cope with mental health disorders. And, we talk about mental health quite often on our show. Health disorders, suicide prevention, education, and VA programs through the sport of golf. And it was so fly, and it was a great event. And just even talking with the guys that I was playing with, they said, golf saved them. Golf saved them. So I just definitely want to shout out Harold Woodhouse and his, for Vets, and Natalie Nicole and his whole team that put that event together over here in Tampa at West Chase. They did a phenomenal job.
Oh, good.
Plus, I wanted stuff, so I ain't gonna go into that.
That event happened already, right?
Yeah, it happened. It was. I can't even remember. I don't play too much golf. We just had it just about maybe. It was Monday. Just past Monday. Oh. They had slingshots out there. Yeah, they had some slingshots out there. They were test driving, and I happened to win the little grand prize. Yeah, win the little grand prize. So I get to play with a little slingshot for a weekend. It's gonna be fun.
Oh, that's dope. How'd you win the grand prize?
Man, let me tell you. Can I tell y'all a quick story? I'm gonna tell y'all a quick story, and then we're gonna bring the ladies on. So I only bought 5 tickets. So we get out there, they call like 2 names, 2 people win, and then they call my ticket, and I go up there, and so it's like a Soul Train aisle up the middle. So I'm dancing up the aisle. So I go up there, grab my little prize. So I got like a foursome. Then they call another ticket. It's my ticket, so I get like a brunch at a really nice Sand Pearl Resort down here in Clearwater. Then they call the person. Yeah, it was ridiculous. So then they call this. They had this little gun or whatever, like a cannon gun that shoots out the balls or whatever, launcher. So it was $10,000 if you made it in the hole. I made it 8 feet from the hole, and so I won like a nice little liquor basket or whatever. So here it is. That's number 3. So then I sit here and I talk. I'm on a little drinky drink, just a little bit. So I was talking a little noise at that point. So I'm like, look, I'm not just lucky, I'm a luck charm. I said, I bet y'all somebody in my group's about to win. Next 2 things that got called, he got a foursome and a television. So then I'm like, okay. And so now we're all clowning or whatever. And so they go to announce the grand prize of the event. So they had like 4 slingshots that you can test drive while you're there or whatever afterwards. So they said the grand prize is going to be, you know, you get a weekend, 3-day weekend with a slingshot. We give you $100 gift card to go towards some gas. And so they start calling the number. So they're like, so the guy's like 1, 1, 8, 1, 0. At 0, I get up and I start walking down the aisle. They haven't called the last number. I start walking down the aisle. He says 1. I walk up there. You know how you play spades and you slap your cards down on the table? Went up there and slapped that little ticket up there, won the little prize. It was ridiculous, but it was again, it was a great time for a great cause.
Great, yeah, that sounds good. Let's get that up.
Somebody putting them down tickets.
Yeah, exactly. They done put like some kind of braille on the back of them tickets, and they was like,
they shook it up right there in front of us. They kept on shaking it up, you know.
The little piece of glue on the back, like, oh, this is one. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, bring it ladies.
All right. So podcast, you know, we got some great guests coming on. It's in honor of Women's Golf Day that we had yesterday. So we got 2 amazing women. They're both golf instructors, one out of Virginia, one right here in Riverview, Florida with me. So we have Alice Brown. And we also have Robyn James, and they both recently just attained their Class A certification, their Lpga Class A certification. So we want to shout them ladies out because they worked hard to get it. And we just want to bring them on and let them tell us, you know, how that journey was and tell us a little bit about themselves.
That's dope.
Oh, yeah, let's give you another round of applause and air horns. And welcome, ladies. How are you?
Great, thank you.
You're welcome. We're a pleasure to have you guys here. We'll start from the left to right. All right, Miss Robyn James, just tell us a little bit about yourself real quick, and yeah, in your own words.
All right, let's see where to start. I absolutely love what I do, and I love being a Class A professional. My voice is getting hoarse because I sit there and I, you know, give my all on the lesson tee all day. And by the end of the day, you're like, I can't talk anymore. But I love it. I'm actually 43 years old, and this is my second career in life. Started out corporate America, and lucky for me, the housing bubble burst and I was laid off. And I was trying to figure out what I was going to do with the rest of my life because I hated corporate America. And I have the best parents in the world, and they allowed me to move back home and work on my golf game for 4 years to make the switch into the golf side of things. Nice. Fast forward, you know, it was kind of a windy road, but fast forward to 2016, I entered the Lpga program. I went to the level 1 portion of it down in Florida and got through that part. I think it was 2 years later because I took the deliberate train, let's call it that. But I took the deliberate train, and I think, Alice, did we meet each other in level 2?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, so we went through our level 2 together, got through all of that, then entered the pandemic. And so that delayed things a little bit more. And then finally, December, what was the date that I got the letter? December 7th, 2021. I got my Class A certification letter, and the rest is
Nice. We'll get back because I got some questions about the process. Alice Brown. Tell us a little bit about you and your journey.
Well, I kind of did the same thing. I started off in corporate America. Then I also didn't like corporate America. So I decided to do the same thing Robyn did, basically. And I started my own business back in 97 when I was stationed in Hawaii, 92 when I was stationed in Hawaii. And my first business was owning a hair salon because I was a hairstylist. And I started there. And I still have a hair salon today. I mean, you know, it's been in business now for almost about 30 years, I guess, or so. Oh, wow. So it's still a good business, and it's you know, and it's still doing well.
However, somewhere along the way, I became a golfer, and I became a golfer because my husband and I, we are retired military, and we were stationed in Hawaii. Now, my first love in sports was softball. I mean, I love shortstop, and I love hitting it high and long. So, so I played softball for a long time. And when we got stationed in Fort Drum, New York, which is an infantry unit, my husband pretty much I gave up softball and started playing, getting a little bit serious about golf. Um, I didn't get as serious about golf in Hawaii, but I did when we went to Fort Drum. However, when we just decided to retire and we retired here in Florida, uh, I got a little bit more involved in it. And being involved in it, I became the MacDill 2008, MacDill Air Force Base 2008 amateur club champion.
Wow.
Okay, that was my first thing. And then I said, oh, I could probably do this, you know. So I went on and I became a professional because I wanted to play professional golf for the Lpga. So I qualified for the Symetra Tour. It was a developmental tour for the Lpga in 2008, right after I won my club champion. And then I went on to teach because I wanted to learn more about golf. I had instructors, and I said, oh, well, you know, I want to shoot scratch golf. But I had all these instructors, and I never got there. So I said, okay, well, I need to do this differently. So I took it upon myself to make sure I went on to teach. So I started out with the United States Golf Teaching Federation. Then I went into the Lpga. I went on and did the IPGA, so quite a bit here. And now I'm looking forward to doing the PGA. So I want all the levels. I want to know, and I want to learn, and I want to keep that game going.
It just never ends. That's a great thing about golf. It's just something that you can dig yourself into. It's always fantastic. And it's great that kids and adults get to see your guys' face and be like, we just like you. You come on in, learn this game. It's going to take you places you've never been before. Okay, Chris, I'm going to let you start off, but be nice. Start slow.
I'm always nice. It's always good to see
that warning.
It's always great to see sisters in the game of golf, especially the ladders that you guys have climbed, because I know it's been very difficult, you know, dealing with microaggressions with the other side. And I see Robyn shaking her head, so she understands. Alice, it's always good to meet a club pro, from one club pro to another. You know, I was two-time club pro, club champion.
Okay.
So it's always great to see a club champion. But my question for both of you guys is this: I've taken on some. I'm not a teacher, a teaching pro, but I also like to get people involved in the game of golf. And so once you get them involved in the game of golf, and you get them where they have a pretty decent swing, and then they max out. Say, for example, they're stuck at maybe 97, but they have a pretty decent swing. They can get around the golf course. What would you suggest from that point to shave strokes off of their game?
Great question.
Robyn, you want to go first? I go first. I don't mind.
I'm going to say an unpopular opinion.
Okay.
Go see somebody else. I mean,
right, yeah.
For example, I teach mostly women. I teach 95% women who are absolutely brand new to the game. Like, we literally have conversations of, this is the difference between a putter and a pitching wedge.
Okay.
I don't like the technology. I don't want to sit there on a flight scope or a TrackMan, although I can. It's not my passion. So at a certain point, you got to see somebody else. You got to switch it up. And hopefully you outgrow certain types of instruction, right? Like, don't be afraid to switch it up. Sometimes, think about that driver that you had 10 years ago. Hopefully it's not serving the same function now. There's new technology, there's new ways. Switch it up.
That's so smart.
Like
that's so smart. Yeah.
Alex.
That's an honest.
I agree. I do. I agree with Robyn. But before I recommend those things, anytime that I make suggestions, I want to get into the person's inner thoughts. You know, I want to know what they're thinking. I want to know a whole lot about what their life is like, what they do on an everyday basis, and things like that. Getting to know that student is very important, and that's the one thing that I've always known. But the LPGA really put that in perspective for me. They really did. I mean, I love golf. I played it for many years now, and I'm very passionate about it. But I'm just as passionate about my students. And my goal is to make sure that none of my students fail, no matter what they're trying to accomplish. Whatever their desires are, I'm going to try to help them to reach that goal. I think reaching that goal is important. And I think it's important how you teach that student. You know, everybody can't be taught the same way because their bodies are not the same. They don't think alike, you know, and those things like that. It's all about what they see, what they feel, how they think about the game. So if you're shooting a 97, then maybe you're not as focused as you should be. Maybe you need to rethink about how you're practicing. Are you practicing with a purpose? Are you practicing with your passion? Do you really love this game, or are you into it for your friends? Are you into it for yourself? Are you into it for your parents? Because I do junior golfers, I do adults, I do all skill levels. And just throughout the years, you know, just teaching amateurs, high school golf for 4 years, high school golf coach for 4 years, and it bothers me that my students that I invested 4 years in, they're so burned out that they never make it to college golf or higher. So it's very important that you know that your students. So me, I focus a lot on that individual. So no matter who you are, we're not shooting 97s. So we're gonna try to.
That's what we're not gonna do. Let's get that up. That's what we're not doing. I feel that.
But you've taken the onus off of me. So the person, the people that I won't say teach, but I give some insight to, they will watch this. So you've taken the onus off of me because they've heard me say it 1,000 times. So it will be great for you guys. So the scorecard has no diagram on it. It's all about getting the ball in the hole. So I appreciate that.
Yeah,
nice. Miss Clark's golf life.
All right. So I'm gonna start with Alice. So Alice, so just in case y'all don't know, so Alice is at Ace Golf range here in Riverview, Florida. And so anytime y'all see me on the driving range or the range, this woman is down there teaching all these kids and all her students, and it's a sight to see. It's a sight to see. And she got knee-high little kids all the way, all the adults and everything in between. And again, it just does something so good to your heart. And so I want to ask Alice, because I know, so we, if you're on the social media, on the Alliance and the association, you may hear of like Corey Gaither and his daughter, and actually has 2 daughters that play. So I'll let, Alice speak to the 2 young ladies. And also she has a lady that she's going to be on the bag for that's competing here soon.
Oh, wow.
Oh, nice.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
And so, I want Alice to speak to that, and again, she teaches everything in between from knee high all the way up. And she's also left-handed. And that's what I love too. She gave me a lesson before, and it was so neat to be able to see by her being left-handed, kind of like that mirror view. So it was just a different way of teaching that I enjoyed as well. So,
yes, that's
so tell us about those ladies, Alice.
Yeah, I am left-handed when it comes to golf and softball, but I'm right-handed. Okay, I'm a left-handed golfer, and I swing softball left-handed, but I'm right-handed, and that's the first thing I found out from my students too, whether they are left or right-handed, because even though I'm hitting the ball on the wrong side, doesn't necessarily mean that that's what I do. That's just what I'm doing with that particular sport. And yeah, I do teach Kailani, Corey Gaither's daughter. And Kai has, I don't know, for those you guys that know her, Kai is a scratch golfer. I got Kai when she was fresh out of a summer camp. And I've been working with Kai now for a little over a year, maybe a year and a half. And I've watched her grow. And yeah, I brought her into the Lpga event that we had back in January. And she was the youngest one there, but she got the most attention.
Yeah.
Okay. So I am looking forward to being on her bag when she go to World this year. Her father already asked me to do that. I was on her bag for another event. In a practice round, she shot a 31. And during that particular tournament, I believe she shot a 38 that particular tournament. Just had one bad hole and, got that score. But she's amazing. My youngest student that I teach right now is 2 years old. And my oldest student that I teach right now is probably maybe 80, maybe 85. Nice. So there's a gap there, but I feel that I'm confident enough to teach anyone. And I'm to try to conquer this game and make sure we challenge it the right way. So I love what I do, and I love my students as much, so much more.
Let's get that up. And I think that's the beauty of inclusion. I think that's the beauty of inclusion, Robyn and Alice. Your other life experiences and expertise, and then you're bringing it into your new expertise and your new experiences. It makes a full, well-rounded coach and teacher that, I think has probably been missing in golf since forever. And I'm glad you guys just took the time and started a second career to become professionals, because you're going to help a lot of people. And, from you guys' perspective, because, how many years did we have really just one or two perspectives as far as golf? And now we have a well-rounded life experience. How you look at something is going to be far different than someone else in another part of the country or someone else with another life experience. We all want the same goals, to play better golf. But, like you said, everybody's mindset is different and swing is different. And, you guys put the pieces all together in this great puzzle. We go back to Sif.
Yeah. So, ladies.
Huh?
Go ahead, Sif.
Now, go ahead, Trish.
Yeah, you got a question.
I did have a question for Robyn, but I can ask afterwards.
No, you can ask. You're good.
Okay, so we hit Alice. Now, Robyn, I want her to make sure that she gets a chance to explain to y'all. So, we talk about in the beginning in your intro that you have, Manny, for the Golf Locker Room podcast. We show the gentleman, the black man that invented the T of the game that we love. So we have Robyn James. We want her to speak to her. She has a patent, and we want to have her speak to her invention that she come up with that, again, helps us in the game of golf, especially down here in Florida and up there in South Carolina and everywhere else that has these little creatures that she's going to speak about.
Okay, well, let's see. Build a better mousetrap. I love it. What you got, Robyn? What you building on?
So I have the Infusion Clip. So what this little device is, and let me take it out of the packaging here. How many of you have had problems with those gnats swarming?
Come on.
Head?
I'm in Cali and we get them. It's dry. We still get them. We get a lot of them. I have to smoke a cigar to get rid of them.
Oh, and then halfway through the round, you're so, high that you can't line up a putt anymore. So the Infusion Clip, a clip for your hat that you put here, and then you can put your ball marker on it. And the clip itself is scented. And the scent that is on this repels mosquitoes and gnats, so that you don't have to spray your hat. I see all three of you have hats that you love. And, especially the white hats, you spray them with off or what have you. And
yellow.
Then 2 weeks later, they're yellow.
Done.
So this, you just clip it to your hat, and it keeps the bugs from underneath the brim of your cap.
That is, let's get that up. See, this is what I'm talking about. Why it is so important that we have inclusion in this golf stuff. It's just, you know, that is fantastic. That is fantastic because that's what we do. It would seem like we wouldn't have so many gnats out here in Cali because we're a little drier than Florida. But there, you walk across the grass, you look up, it's a million of them. You walking into you think it's a fog, you coughing gnats out your lips. What is that? So that is huge. That is huge. I love it. That is a great idea.
Actually, it was
Manny,
how it came about. So way back when, before I knew I was going to be a golf instructor, I was on the driving range, and this dad and little girl came up to me and asked me to show the little girl how to hit a golf ball because I was the only woman out on the range. And so I showed her how to hit a golf ball, and she got it up in the air. And I mean, we've all seen when somebody, you know, falls in love with this game. Like they get that look and they're like, I did that, you know, this is the best thing ever. But I wasn't a golf instructor at that point, and I wanted to inspire this little girl to continue. So I had a rhinestone bumblebee on my hat, a ball marker, and I gave it to her, and I was like, I don't know where you'll go in this game, but you always need to know where you've been, and gave her the ball marker. And they drifted off, lost track of her. And she found me years later on Facebook, all grown up. And she was just want to thank you. You know, you made an impression on me, and I want it to be just like you. And I was like, tears, you know, all excited about that. And then I went to her pictures, and there she was, beautiful swing. And on her hat was the bumblebee. So then I decided that, you know, I wanted to make ball markers for people. So I taught myself in these. So like this little frog, a woman said that her favorite thing in the world was a frog. So I made that for her. A woman, she said that, you know, her nickname was Sunshine and she liked sunflowers. So I made that one for her. And see, the light is like shining off of her.
We can see it good.
And then, you know, so all of these little things that I started hand making for people that they loved. But the problem was they have a smooth back to them. So the traditional metal hat clip, I would be swinging and the thing would, you know, shoot off. So I taught myself how to make these rubberized ones. And they smelled kind of chemically, if that's a word. They smelled bad. And the first ones, I had some citronella and I just mixed it in, and you know, it smelled like citronella. So then now I'm teaching golf and everything, and I try things out on my students. So I handed it to one of my students and I was like, hey, you know, try this, see if the ball marker stays on. And she took it and she went like this and she goes, what's that scent? And I told her, and I was like, yeah, just see if it stays on, you know, all 18 holes. And she handed it back to me and she said, put this away immediately. And I was like, what? And she goes, go find a patent attorney, talk to somebody about this, because I've never seen anything like it, and it'll keep the bugs off of you. And I was like, that's what I meant to do. I just kind of fast forward, the patent took me 4 years to get. And I mean, December was a big year for me, or a big month for me. I got the patent in December. So yeah, and it's been a lot of
that's just a great story. And since we're on it, where can we find them? Where can we find them?
So the website is infusionclip.com. And I think
hold on, let me see if I can do this on the fly.
Oh gosh.
Be able to
And Manny, Sif, y'all, let me tell y'all, when we were in South Carolina, when we were in Myrtle Beach, so we have a mutual friend, Robyn and I, we have a mutual friend named Alonzo. And so he put the whole Myrtle Beach event together. We had a great time. And so he had her infusion clip. And we were like, hey, we've got to talk to some folks down here. And so we ran into, what was that?
Slight typo on that. Infuse with it.
Let me
Put it up.
read. Oh, Ian, there we go. Hold on. We want it at the bottom so everyone can know.
And I make them all by hand too. So
Wow.
For now,
I'm sure it's gonna
until you get a
stop.
manufacturer to do them.
Exactly.
No, but no,
Tell
we
me.
ran into a gentleman in Myrtle Beach.
yes, there we go.
All right,
Look at it.
we're gonna run that. Let's run that so everybody, and this will be on in perpetuity when they watch it on YouTube and all that, and they can always get down there. And because we want that to, we want to sell 1 million of those at least,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah.
you'll be a multimillionaire. Let's make it
There
happen.
we go. I'm here for it.
Yeah. But no, the finish, Manny, we were in Myrtle Beach. We ran into the guy was like, hey, go and bat your eyes, smile at the, guy in the pro shop or whatever, see what we can do to try to get this item in the pro shop. Went to go talk to the guy, and he was like, look, it's your lucky day. They're getting ready to go and do inventory. We have about, I forget how many courses, but there was multiple courses that they're all attached to, and that he's the main guy that, does it. So he gave me the name, the number, and we're just hoping, hopefully she can get down there, get connected, or make a phone call and get her clips in those. Because, it's Myrtle Beach. It's all kinds of bugs. His clip kept bugs away from me and the other two in our foursome.
That is, dude. I'm telling you, that's a problem. It's a problem. It's a problem. I'm telling you, I got cigars. They don't like cigar smoke, but you can't walk around with a big face full of cigar smoke all day. You stink. You get dizzy. I would love to just throw a clip. I wear a clip anyway, so why not have a dual roll clip? Everyone's wearing a clip anyway. That's beautiful. Let's get that up again, because that's dope. That's dope. That's going to be big too, because it serves a purpose. Build a better mousetrap to serve a purpose. So dope. So dope. So dope. All right, Miss Alice Brown. Sif, because we took your question away to get into this infusion clip, so we're going back to you.
We're like the Shark Tank here, and I'm Mr. Wonderful. So where are our samples? Where are our samples?
I will get you samples.
He was like, I'm Mr. Wonderful. Wonderful, me a sample, huh?
No, I believe in paying. But
me too.
Anyway,
this question is I'm gonna buy a few.
This question is for the both of you guys. Mrs. Brown says she's teaching a 2-year-old, and which I think is phenomenal, because it takes great patience to teach someone that young, because their mind can be a whole lot of places but where it's supposed to be. And Ms. Robyn, you're teaching a mirror to people as well. My question is this: all of us seem like we're polished as it relates to culture, the game of golf, instruction. You guys have been in corporate America, so you have other polished people who bring their kids to the golf course. What do we do to introduce this game to inner city kids? And we walk outside, there's basketball goals, there's softball fields, even at the recreational places in our respective communities. But there also, I truly believe, if there was a putting green outside of a project, if there was a driving range right down the road from a project, I think that our kids would actually, scratch their head on it. But at the same time, they're very curious. I think they would adapt and learn this game. What are your thoughts about introducing golf to inner city kids versus them coming to the country club going to them?
Well, I'll go first. I'm already there. I've been doing that for years, introducing inner city kids to the game of golf. I went into the schools, and I did Great American Teach-In Days. I went to different organizations, and work with kids there. I bring kids into my camps, so I'm already there. I'm looking out for the community that I live in and my surrounding areas that I'm in. So if you know, if someone want to come out, I mean, Mackenzie Mack and I have a PGA Junior League. We competed against each other, you know, and she dealt more with inner city kids than I did, but with the private organizations that I affiliated myself with in the past, they had plenty of that. You know, I went into the AMI. I don't know if you guys know what AMI is, but I went there. I taught kids there. AMI, you know, troubled kids that they really have nowhere to go. You know, they did everything that they could possibly do. Yeah, and so the only place left to go is to be incarcerated, basically.
Yeah.
So, you know, and so that's what I did. I mean, I do that kind of, you know, if I'm needed in the community and somebody want me to help my community, my kids that's in the inner city, yeah, I'm all for that. Putting a putting green down on the other hand, on the outside of that, if that's the only thing that they have, that's the only choice that they have, why not?
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I'm all for it, you know, whatever works. I just think that, you know, if they really want to learn golf, they can putt inside their home. You know, if you have carpet, you can putt inside your home. If you have a backyard, you can chip and putt. You can do something if you really want to get out of there. You know, it's no different than any other sport. Basketball players, they do it all the time.
Right.
They have a story.
And I guess what I was saying in terms of the introductory, because it's easy to walk outside of the house or the inner city and the basketballs everywhere. So nobody's actually from inner city has had that opportunity to be introduced to the game, at least where I'm from. I didn't take the game up until, you know, years down the road with my Uncle Charlie would say, why are you playing football? You're beating yourself up every day and, you know, you need to be out there swinging the club. But the thing was, you walk outside of my house, you know, there's basketballs everywhere. So there was no introductory to the game. And I think that, you know, a lot of times our kids who are in inner city, urban areas, they're not introduced to the game. I applaud you for what you're doing, but a lot of times when we talk to people and we have them on the podcast, for the most part, it's always that, well, if the parents would bring them, you know, we can teach them. Well, a lot of times, man, due to socioeconomics, your mom and dad may be working 2 jobs and can't get them there. They would love to get them there, but they can't. So sometimes we have to take the party, you know, to the house.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And Robyn.
Okay, here we are, 2 sides of the coin. All right. Wow, like,
speak freely.
Are all our kids in the inner city?
No, not at all. Not anymore.
So are we talking inner city, or are we talking getting Black youth into golf?
Well,
yeah, I think
it's and that's a great question. Usually, and I'm gonna just keep it 100. Usually, we see our most talented athletes come from the inner city just due how they were raised and the circumstances that they've been against. So, for example, when you have these, because we always talk about why don't we have any a more representation on the LPGA and the PGA Tour, and so I know you guys have taught kids that you'll say they ain't got it. They just ain't got it. They can matriculate into the game, use the game to get a good job, create relationships, but in terms of making it to the next level, they just don't have it. I can take you 10 miles down the road into the projects and throw a golf club down, and I'll watch 5 kids swing, and I'll say, my man right here, that 7-year-old, we better watch him because he got it. So it's almost like when the sperm hits the egg, for the most part, I mean, just keeping it in the buck, you know that somebody has it. You know, I'm sure when they first saw Kobe Bryant at 8 years old, they knew he had it. So what I'm saying is those kids in inner city are a little bit tougher, a little bit, have a little bit more grit as it relates to athleticism in terms of getting
I'm looking at you sideways, you know, gotta represent the suburbs a little bit, you know, the country a little bit. I know many a country so-and-so that has some grit. If you've ever had to pick tobacco, you know some grit.
Well, let's say poor people then. let's say economic deprived.
there's many ways in this. I think what it comes to is numbers, right? The more people you expose to golf, the more you're going to find those that, like you said, that 7-year-old that can swing it, right? And we all have our special talents and people that we connect with. And so the more we get, an Alice, a Robyn, an Ashante, and all of the other ones, the more people will touch wherever they are. And for myself, my philosophy, there's a lot of ways to get into this castle. And if everyone goes over the bridge on the moat, we're not going to make it. Some have to come in the back door. Some have to come in the side door. Some may have delivered, groceries into the kitchen, and now that's where they are. So wherever people are, that's where I try and reach them. And just, getting more and more people that look like me involved, that's going to mean more and more people that have an opportunity. So, for example, I mean, as much as I love having a putting green in areas where people don't have access to a golf course, if they're going to make it onto a PGA or LPGA tour, they got to play, right? So you got to back it up to people behind the counter who look like us, who say to that little kid, hey, there are golf clubs that have been left behind, and here's a golf club for you. I'm going to bring you out to this golf course on my day off because I get free golf privileges, and you're going to play a quality course with me. I focus on teaching women, brand new women who have never played before, because my philosophy is if you get the women introduce them golf to their friends. And then if you get the women and their friends to come, they bring their kids, and no one golfs alone. So the more you get them coming out, the more they bring their kids, the kids bring their friends, they're hanging out there, they're having fun. And then those kids turn into those golf pros of the future, whether they're working behind the counter or playing on tour. Right. Yeah. And there's only a few, we're talking about the LIV Tour. There's only a few that make it. Right. But if we focus on how many golf courses need golf pros right now, there's a lot of them. And, just different ways of doing it. If everyone focuses on their talent to bring more people to the game, we'll have more people.
Nice. Miss Clark's Draft Life, you had a question.
No, I just wanted to run it back to Alice to see if you wanted to, if you had anything else to say on that topic or your thoughts. It looked like you were thinking and maybe had some thoughts on it. So I didn't know if you had any thoughts on it.
I'm always thinking.
Gotcha.
I'm always thinking. I'm a thinker, and I'm guilty of that. But I'm a thinker because I'm listening to what everyone is saying, and right away I'm trying to figure out how to do it. So, that's what I do. I think about,
and that's what I've seen.
Yeah. And I'm thinking about, okay, this might work. I mean, but it's like Robyn said, if you get a parent, you get the kids. If I get the kids, I get the parents. So it was kind of like that. So either way, and that's, I get the kids. Usually I get the kids first, and I do have kids that, that are introduced that play basketball. Parents didn't want them to play basketball or football. And so I have them in golf, and the key is keeping our children in golf. But, I'm very diverse. I mean, I have everyone. It's just not one particular race that's in my circle. My circle is whoever want to learn golf, they're going to learn it. But when I do get kids that are from the inner circle, then I make sure that they try to stay into that game. Usually they can't stay into the game because, for various reasons. This time of the year is because of the heat. But, in order for us to sustain in golf, we have to learn how to deal with things. Like Robyn said, you know, coming up, some of us didn't have a choice. We had to work in the fields all day. Okay, so we got used to that heat. Kids today, they don't like the heat.
Yeah.
The girls don't like getting the hair sweaty. They don't like the makeup
Yeah.
running, you know, and things like that. And I'm talking about my females only. And then I have kids, boys that do the same thing. You know, it's too hot. You know, so they have to decide. You can't force kids to play a sport that they really don't want to play, but you can let them know the benefits of playing golf. You know, there's ways out of wherever they are coming from, the inner circle. There's always ways out. So maybe we need to introduce golf to them that way. You know, let them know, okay, here, this is your scholarship. You can get your scholarship. You can make more money. You can do it this way. Come try it. Let's see, you know, what you can do with that. It's no different than basketball. What does it have in common with basketball, football, other sports? I mean, that's how you introduce the kids to that. You know, you have to educate them. They don't know.
Right.
And most of the time, the parents don't either.
And,
So,
and that's what we found when we talked to so many different people that's in this game, that, you know, the kid, well, if the kid loves it and they have some receptive parents, then they end up convincing the parents that it's viable. It's a viable sport. Some of our parents, let's just keep it 100, don't think golf is viable because they just don't know. They're ignorant to golf. And they just think, I see basketball and football on TV, so this is the way my baby can get out. They don't even understand there's more opportunities in golf than there ever will be in basketball and football for your little kid, if he really practices and
everything.
it, you know. But they don't know, and if they don't know, they're not dropping them off and picking them up and spending the money to make it happen.
Well, and also, I mean, you know, we're so focused on tour level golf professionals that, you know, I understand that's the pinnacle of performance, but there is so much that happens in corporate America, in, you know, business transactions that are on the golf course. And if you're not able to get out there, you don't learn that. So, you know, just thinking that you have to play on the highest level ever, I think sometimes we miss a lot of people that could learn a lot about the game.
That's true. Let's get that up because, you know,
Yeah.
golf, whether you even, well, first of all, you got a chance to go to college if you can shoot a decent number. But even if you didn't go to college and play college golf, collegiate level golf, just in business, like you said, a lot of deals is made out there in golf. It expands your horizons, your circle of people, you know, like-minded people. So, you know, like everyone always says, professionals or not, you're not about to at 50 be like, oh, let's go to the court and play some basketball. But you will be like, man, meet me at the course. Be there in about an hour. You ain't about to suit up. I'm 53. I'm not suiting up anymore. It's not going to happen. My knees will never recover from a blacktop shooting some ball out there sweating and falling. If I fall, I have to press that little button. Man, he's falling.
Done.
It's a wrap. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. So definitely it's a game that will take you throughout life and on and on and on. So, you know. Questions. Sif or Trish?
Yeah, I think that you know,
No.
with trendsetters as it relates to people of color. And so now, opposed to, you know, way back when, you see the kids come out with the large brim hats, you know, the J's, golf shoes, you know, the nice polo shirts. So now kids tend to gravitate toward that because it looks cool, because we set the trend. And so I think now it's a little easier mentally to say, you know what, my man, you know, he's rocking those dope J's and he's got that wide brim hat, and I see him around the way. You know, let me look at this game of golf. You know, even some of the youngins, you know, who you know, look up to some of the older cats. So I think the clothing trend, I think the vibe now is a little bit more attractive, opposed to, you know, 70s, you know, even 80s. And then when Tiger bust on the scene and, you know, you make a putt and you do that. You only saw that in football or basketball.
Celebration.
That on the golf course, and now it was almost like a funeral before Tiger. You make a putt. It was now it's hey, this is what I did. So we're kind of
excited, yeah,
to the trends, and I think that helped a whole lot. So
yeah, and I think we're relatively young, but back in the 70s, we were still coming off a lot of exclusion.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so different voices and different types of players, like your great uncle, like Charlie, like Dr. Sifford, he had style and panache, but by the time he got on tour, what was he, 50? Before they let him on tour? Right. His prime years was fighting to get on tour. So his style and panache could not break through. We celebrated his 100th year birthday. If they would have allowed him and many others in their prime, it would have been cooler for our kids to see. They ain't seen nobody on tour because they wasn't allowed on tour. So now with the Tiger Woods, and you can say the Ricky Fowlers, and they're bringing their youth, they're bringing their style to the game they love. And you got different kind of people like Rick Ross and DJ Khaled that's sprinkling, even Drake sprinkling into golf here and there. And so it will be more normalized, hopefully. And that's the thing about growing the game. The kids must see that it's cool, or they're not the weirdos playing. They're just part of a bigger community that loves the game. Yeah. So we're getting better. We forget we're not too many years off. What? Augusta had the first black member in 1975. It's not a long time ago. It's not a long time ago. You know what I mean? So, we think we've come a long way fast, but we just really get here, just to be honest. You just start.
And for women, I mean.
Exactly. Speak on it.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. Come on. Exactly. That's why it's just so great that you guys went into the profession of this, so they can actually see professionals. And we've had a lot of LPGA professionals on, and I always say, like, my daughters are old, but I would have loved to drop them off and watch them going to somebody that looks like them, but giving them professional training, and we just didn't always have that until this decade, maybe. You know what I mean? Where a lot of you guys are
got it now,
and bringing in all of your expertise from other fields too. It just makes it a better thing. It just makes it a better thing. Trish.
Yes. So, ladies, absolutely. Thank you so much for coming on. I mean, it's been delightful. Robyn, can't wait till we can get on the course. I'm coming up that way to the DMV, so we're going to get out there. And I wish you the absolute very best in your endeavors with your invention, with your patent, with the clips. You're going to get them everywhere. And then with Miss Alice, I don't know, Miss Alice has been very near and dear to my heart. Like she said, she teaches each and everybody. So before my mom passed, she actually... my mom, she wanted to know what was it about golf that I love so much, like straight addicted. My mom knew I was straight addicted to golf. She went and grabbed her some clubs, and she was like, hey, we went out and we played. And then I introduced her to Alice, and Alice, got my mom out there on the course, and started to teach her, the game that I love. So Alice, she's from day one, from the first time I met her at the range, to this day now, she's just been tried and true. And I absolutely love everything that she does, everything that you're doing, Robyn. Just thank y'all for everything that y'all do.
Thank you for having us.
Hey, I got one question. One question. And, I just want to see which side of the coin that you're on. So, Robyn, Alex, if I came through the door right now, through your doors respectively, and I had $125 million check for you to sign, are you going to cash it or you going to tear it up?
Oh, gosh.
Okay, let me think about that. Now,
don't answer that. Don't do it.
Let me think about that.
We want to continue to have LPGA professionals on the show.
Are you trying to invest in the check for again? I didn't get that information. What's the check for?
Whatever.
Oh no.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? If somebody offered you, if someone came, if you were in the shoes of what we see right now, and you had an opportunity to go play somewhere else, and they wrote you a check for 125 million just to sign on, that don't include the purse and your participation, are you gonna cash the check?
Well, it all depends. Okay, I love where I am. Okay, I do, and I'm not a sellout by no means. So, I mean,
Okay.
I'm not. So, it all depends on what you're trying to accomplish as an individual, because I think that's character. So, I'm all about character. So, I'm not going to sell out.
Okay.
I'm not, because you can get that same.
And Robyn?
So, I would not take the check. And here's why I would not take the check. Because the Infusion Clip is going to make more than 125 million.
That's right. Get that up.
Hey. Good answer.
Y'all been.
Would you take it? You didn't.
Is a bean green?
I think my situation. I don't think everyone should take the money, and I don't think everyone doesn't have to take the money. I think it's a personal choice. To me,
I'm out.
To me, I think everybody has. I just think everybody has what they think is important. And like I said before, I'll say it again. I don't believe it's about the moral compass. People are professionals. They get paid to be a professional.
Assalamu alaikum.
I just think. I think if I'm big on privacy, I'm big on personal choices, and everyone has a personal choice. And if I say I may not be for an abortion, but that doesn't mean I'm against your choice for an abortion. So that's where I stand. It's like I may not be for the LIV Tour, but I'm not going to be bad that you're for the LIV Tour, or vice versa. So I just think people should be able to make their choice. Period. Without the fake moral equivalency, because we know
y'all can address me as Chris Akbar.
Oh my God. I'm out on the show, ladies, because he's fantastic. That's why we have him. Chris Akbar, we love you. Now I do have one technical golf question. Let's get back on golf before we. So the men should pick tees, they say. The men should pick tees, they say, by the distance of their 5-iron. That is one way.
Here we go.
I'm just asking a question. So can I ask just a simple golf question to professionals? So they say if you hit your 5-iron, you should times it by 36, and that's the level of course, 6,400, 6,800. You should play corresponding tees. Now, since we have no women's tees anymore, we just have forward tees, middle tees, junior tees, and how do you suggest your students, once they get to a high school level or college level, pick the tees they play from?
Well,
that's a professional for both of you guys. What would you suggest?
Well, see, I'm a U.S. Kids Golf certified instructor coach, right?
Okay.
And top 50. Okay,
nice.
And top 50. And, I like the way that they do it. And the way that they do it is not by distance, basically, right?
Okay.
It's by, it is kind of by distance, but basically it's by handicap. So I always got frustrated when they say hit from the ladies' tees, because that makes me want to go to the tips. Okay, that's what I do. Okay, because I don't think that a tee should. If you're a scratch golfer, then you go to the back tees. But
Period.
If you are 30 plus, then you need to be on those forward tees, regardless of whether you're male or female.
I think so. That's how I run my league. It doesn't
matter.
How I run my league. I go by handicaps. We go by handicaps.
Otherwise, you could be holding up the course, and you think you're going to get screamed at.
That's
and
true.
Then how are you going to handle that? So
That's true.
I definitely think that it's based on the numbers that you're shooting. Yes.
That's how we do our tee boxes, and we have 4 flights, and it's distributed by handicaps, and that's what tees: white tees, blue tees, tips, and we have players that use all 3, depending on what their handicap is. We have some scratch golfers. They go into the tips to make it fair in skins for the person that's a 4 or even a 5 handicap. So
I have a question for you also. So if you're hitting that 5-iron, and you're hitting that 5-iron 200 and some plus yards in the trees or in the water,
that's not a good 5-iron. That's not a good 5-iron. That's not a good hit. I don't hit my 5-iron 200 yards. That's crazy. I hit my 5-iron about 180, 185, and it's pretty good. It's pretty straight. But I still play in between blues and whites because my handicap is 12. So
but
depending on,
you should try the 4 tees. Because, and the reason I say you really should try the 4 tees, because it helps you with all your game overall.
Short game.
So if you play the 4 tees, then you get really good with your wedges. If you play the back tees, you get really good with your long clubs.
It's true.
Okay, if you play in between, then you have a combination of both. So it's always what you think about, what you're working on. It's about, again, going back to making sure you're practicing and playing with a purpose, and whatever that purpose is that day. Right. So if you're trying to, so if you're not hitting your wedges good, play forward. If you need to work on your long irons, play back.
Makes sense.
If you're coming in with a 5-iron on par 4s, you playing the wrong tees.
I would agree with that too.
Playing the wrong tees.
I will say though, I think it depends on what course it is, right? Because there are courses where you have short par 4s and you have long par 4s. I'm trying to always get to how the course was intended to be played. And unless it's a course that every hole is drive or wedge, then I'm on the wrong tees. And if every hole is drive or 5-iron, I'm also on the wrong tees.
Yeah.
If you're playing 5-iron on the average of all par 4s, you playing the wrong tees.
Yeah,
I tell them boys that all the time.
In the same respect, if you're playing drive or wedge on all the par 4s, you're also on the wrong tees.
You're on the wrong tees. That makes sense.
So,
definitely.
That's how I was taught. Is you at the point where you're playing drive or wedge, you move back. And if you're playing drive or wedge at that tee, move back again.
Makes sense.
It don't matter where I play from. Everybody did.
Okay.
Once we get over an hour and 20 minutes, we get into crazy time.
Man, I can see it now.
There's always one in the group.
Robyn and Alice Muhammad.
See, we're at 120. Trish, go.
Look, pardon words. I'm Tricia Shabazz. Let's go.
All righty. And on that note, thank you guys again. Look at that bottom Infusion Clip. It's a great invention, but only that it's a great invention, it actually will help your game to keep those gnats from going inside your mouth so you can taste the beer and hot dogs. Don't eat that. Taste your beer and your yak. Don't do it. I'm going to make a commercial. Don't eat gnats. Be able to taste your yak and your cigars. Enjoy that. Okay. We're on every Wednesday live. You can find us on any podcast platform. Go to your Alexa and say, hey, play the Golf Locker Room podcast. It'll pop on. You can listen to it from any room in your house. And on that note, thanks again, ladies. We love your professionalism. We love that you're just one of our premier professionals, and our kids and our seniors and our high schoolers can come get that professional lesson. And more than that, some great life experiences that you guys already have done in your lives, and put all that in a box. And hopefully they will shoot from the right tees. Hopefully our co-host will too. And on that note, we... Oh, I stuck that one in there.